Welcome to another Triathlon podcast, the podcast that brings the electrifying world of triathlons right into your headphones. Journey into captivating conversations, share the excitement of race recaps, enjoy the humor only a triathlete would understand, and join us as we debunk myths and bring you the bare, thrilling truths of the triathlon world. So feel your heart pound, breathe in anticipation, and get ready to dive into the world of triathlon. This is another Triathlon podcast. Enjoy the ride.
Here we are, another Triathlon podcast brought to you by Mana Endurance. As always, I'm joined by Josh and Fede, and we are going to talk all things in the world of triathlon right now. We'll have our usual race results that we'll go through from the weekend. We'll have our What the F and social media post, and I think this social media post is going to cause a bit of discussion between us, and I am leaving my What the F to get the guys to guess what they think this crazy contract is. So they're in the dark as much as you are, so you guys can guess too. We will definitely roll into that as we go. But first off, let's catch up. What's going on? Racing, training. Josh, what is going on in your life here?
I just finished my last workout before I head to Arizona tomorrow night for my big weekend of testing. So got in the pool today, which felt good to get that done. It's always like I want to come up with a little social media reel or something that's like those feelings when you got to go to the pool and it's like delay, find something to do. I'm actually going to do like real work or something like this. But then when it's time to bike or run, it's like, all right, how quick can I do it? And it really even change.
You know what? Remember the last show I said I was going to the pool right after this? That didn't happen. And then the one on Friday didn't happen, and the one on Monday didn't happen. So I totally get what you're saying here.
It's been and I just realized too, I said this to Jenna before we started, I think today was just about a month straight of working out, and tomorrow will be my first off day. But that's not crazy because everything's been kind of an average day. There hasn't been anything like full on out craziness. There's been some VO2 max stuff, but with a lot of low level zone 1 work on the bike and on each side. Same with a lot of stride work on the treadmill and running, and just getting the legs used to going fast, as I've got some testing to do next week. So, and in the next few days. So I got my testing schedule. I got a swim test on Thursday, and I'm going to be doing my bike fit that day as well. And then we've got a run test day on Friday with a shakeout ride Friday night, and then bike testing on Saturday, and then red eye back home. So
that's going to be so much fun. Just, to dive into it all.
Very excited. I got to make sure I can pack my Cycon bag that I was given by one of our awesome Mana teammates in the area. So I just got to test that out tonight, make sure I don't need anything tomorrow before I leave. But other than that, just really excited to get out there and see my coach, meet my coach for the first time in person, which we've never done. Welcome to the virtual world of coaching and training these days, as you two both know very well. And it's just been really, really cool. I was actually in just the different things that we all do on our day-to-day basis. I was actually talking to a pro triathlete today who was asking me questions on how I use certain supplements and ketones and things like that today. I was like, what world am I living in right now? But I'm just rolling with it and enjoying it.
No, that's awesome. It's so fun. Like, triathlon is the best because it definitely takes you out of your comfort zone in a lot of ways, but there's so much that you can actually learn about your body and how it works and how to listen to it too. But sounds like you have been doing all the right things, staying absolutely consistent. And really that is the underlying key to success. I actually just posted a reel a couple hours ago saying the secret ingredient is nothing. It's just consistency. Keep doing it. Don't do any superhero workouts. Don't do any crazy days. Just keep layering training stress on top of training stress, recover, and keep pushing forward.
And the recovery is huge. I had one bad recovery day. It was because I didn't get much sleep. I had a fun activity on Saturday to go to college game day and see one of the awesome Peloton instructors there. And then I got free tickets to the Army Navy game. So I got like 2.5, 3 hours of sleep. I was up early. And my recovery score was like 20-something%. And I was like, and then I had to do a 2.5 hour brick that night. And my coach and I talked, and she's like, I know you've had a long day. It's okay. And she adjusted the schedule. And I reached out to her and told her, look, and she's like, I know exactly what you're going through. So be consistent, but also communicate too. And let your coach know, because she took a 2.5 hour ride down to an hour and just made it a little bit more interval work as opposed to a long endurance work. So I had 10 1-minute zone 6 efforts. And I was like, okay, I can get that at a decent hour now. And then right from there, my recovery scores went right back up and back into the consistent roll again.
Oh, perfect. No, definitely doing it right. And that is so key. Talk to your coach. That's what they're there for, right?
Absolutely.
How about you, Petty? What's going on in your world these days?
Yeah, hey guys. So finally, I saw the light at the end of the tunnel, and the VO2 block is done. I'm so happy about that. And now I'm starting to get more into the race-based upper threshold kind of work, especially on the bike. I realized with my coach that if we focus on bike strength earlier on the year, then we can save the running volume or to peak to a later race of the season. So we're going to focus on biking now and slowly progress towards becoming a faster runner, but not necessarily focusing too much on becoming the fastest runner right now in January. That's going to be because it's going to be a long season for me. So we're just going to keep the consistency in building the blocks on the bike, becoming stronger, being able to hold higher powers for longer periods of time. And when Worlds comes, then we're going to focus more a bit on those fast runs, which I love. But now it's all about the bike. So excited about that, and starting to see the gains. It's amazing how easy. I mean, don't believe that it's easy, but how easy it feels threshold compared to like VO2. It's night and day, and I can actually breathe for once. So happy about that.
That's always a nice feeling, getting oxygen, especially doing sports, kind of key.
Yeah, it feels nice to feel like I'm not gonna die every time I'm on the bike. So and actually enjoy the riding, because I don't know about you guys, but there's some pleasure in that sort of intensity. The upper zone 3 threshold, right below LT2 type of work, that feels just amazing. That you're like right in the edge of, if I push 10 more watts, I'm gonna die, but I can hold this for quite a bit of time.
You always describe that as just that grindy work. Like you want to slow down, but you don't have to.
Yeah.
But it's grindy. That's the only word to describe it.
Yeah, it's comfortably uncomfortable. That's how I describe it.
Exactly.
That is actually the towel I have on my bars when I'm doing long rides usually, and it's a great reminder.
That's awesome. Well, I have been spending a lot of time on my bike lately. Not really officially launched, but it kind of turned into that. So I started doing these virtual live cycling classes, more tailored towards triathletes and cyclists, and it has been so much more fun than I expected. I was kind of nervous about, like, it's me talking to people for an hour in there, but it's so cool. I can build out the workouts with the intervals that I want in there. Everything's based on the athlete's percentage of FTP. But even better is I actually get the opportunity to coach people live, which I always have so much fun when I get to do. But like you said, with the virtual world, I don't get that opportunity too often. So with this, I can see everyone on screen. I can give them form cues. I can see their power. I can see if they're in range or out of it, and actually tell them the benefits and why they're doing these workouts. And it has been so much fun. But even better, I can assign like points to different intervals. So we have people battling it out throughout the workouts to be on top of the leaderboard. And we get some good trash talk going in there too. And just it just makes it so much more fun and pass a lot quicker. So I've been having a blast with that, the Endurance Fit virtual cycling classes. And honestly, to the point where I had like I have a few live classes scheduled throughout the week and a couple of live replays where people can still compete in there. I was like yesterday, well, I have to do a bike ride, so I may as well just do a live class and ride with other people. So I end up jumping onto another one. So I've been pretty much every single day on my bike just to, try this out, plan different workouts. And it's been so much fun, so much more engaging, which I have definitely missed. But other than that, like I mentioned to you guys right before I got off my treadmill about 5 minutes ago, I had a Christmas party Saturday night that went very late with a lot of good food and champagne. And had a 14-mile run on Sunday and supposed to do some like lactate testing during that.
Ooh.
Same thing as Josh. I was just like, you know what? Talk to my coach. I'm like, I just can't. My Garmin body battery when I woke up was at 12. I was like, okay, this is not a good idea.
I think when I texted my coach, my body battery was at 11 or 12. She's like, that's good for an hour. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just went back. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not doing anything. Well, I did get up and do the live cycling class that morning because I promised people would be there. But let's just say there was a severely reduced FTP when I was doing that class. I had to sweat it out a little bit, but yeah, ended up moving that to today, and it was my first time trying to do some lactate testing on myself while running, which a few more steps and more complicated than I thought, but got it rolling pretty good. And in a funny turn of events, I have been running too slow. So definitely kind of readjust some of those zones and see what happens when I try training a little bit more by that lactate kind of zones, more so than what I'm doing.
That'll be interesting for sure. And I mean, that's going to lock you in for your duathlon plan next year, right? So that's a big thing to know, and something that if people are looking to increase incrementally and work on their game, that is an option that's out there. And look, you're locked in. You knew exactly where you needed to be based off of your 5K time or whatever you were using for your run pacing, and now it's changed. And
totally.
So does your training.
And that's just it. It's honestly, I'm seeing pretty quick gains from just increasing the run frequency. I'm not even doing really intensity right now, but instead of running very aerobically, like low end of zone 2 for my longer runs and stuff, it's more we're at the high end of zone 2. We're kind of just right under that 2 millimoles is kind of the goal.
Yeah.
Bring that up because I'm not running as long, and I have from the testing it showed that I just have a stupid amount of endurance, which is good as a base, but I need to start going a little bit more towards the speed. So, and lactate testing was good because it kind of dialed in what I felt that the treadmill that I did my lactate testing on was calibrated differently than the treadmill I have at home. So just trying to, like I said, it doesn't matter what that pace is on the treadmill, just as long as it's consistent.
Yep.
And this is what I'll be using. So that was really good information to get. And I actually managed to do it. I tried some lactate testing on the bike by myself. I got like 4 failed samples and 1 that worked. And so slowly figure out how to get a good sample while sweating and breathing heavy, which definitely makes it more interesting.
Yeah, not easy. That's the part of my Arizona trip I'm looking forward to, not having to do that on my own. And that was the next option, having him send me kits. And I was like, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. There's no way.
Good call. Yeah, you can just run hard or bike hard and they'll do all the other stuff. No, wicked. But yeah, it's been fun times for sure. Definitely looking forward to switching up, and it's been good to see the difference already. But let's talk about some people who are maybe slightly faster than me, just a little bit. Let's get to the weekend racing. We had some pro races going on this weekend. It's been a little less quiet than I thought it'd be. Fede, what is going on in the pro world?
Yeah, I mean, we had a lot of racing, and I'm going to start off with 70.3 Cartagena in Colombia. This was...
and I didn't have to say it.
This was 2 weekends ago, so but we didn't talk about them. And bada bim, bada boom. No, actually, this was an age group only race, so that's why we didn't talk about that one. This weekend we had 70.3 Bahrain and 70.3 Topo in New Zealand. And let's start with Bahrain. Let's start with the men, and no surprises here. Fan favorite, and I'm assuming we all wanted to pick him on our little game we have here. Martin van Riel from Belgium took the win in 3:31 with a 1:10:06 half marathon, which is very, very, very strange to see that second place Henry Skuman ran the exact same half marathon, 1:10:06 on the dot, both of them.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. That was amazing. The gap that Martin made on Henry was on the bike. We all know Martin is an Uber biker and the power he's able to produce. So he was away, and he's very aero. He is a very dedicated athlete when it comes to selecting his gear and a very smart racer. So he just pulled away from everyone on the bike. And yeah, Henry couldn't outswim him, which is usually what he does in IT races. I don't know if you guys remember a couple of years ago, he was leading a race, and all of a sudden he stopped and started doing backstroke to wait to wait for everybody to catch on. And he was like, "Come on, guys, here swimming by myself. Please pick up the pace." But yeah, Henry took second place, and from Great Britain, Max Stapley on third place. Unfortunately, Ali Brownlee got a puncture and couldn't finish the race, but he looked very good. Hopefully, he is going to be back in full force next season because he looked very strong.
I know. We always want to see that fully fit Brownlee ready to go and fire. That just sucks to have mechanical. It sounded like he was pretty ready to go heading into it. So just not the year for that guy, but it was very, very cool to see a great race out there. That one I hear is pretty flat and fast, but can get pretty windy out there too in the desert. So what I'd like to check out. It'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, every time I seem to forget about this race. Like every time I see all the photos and the videos, I'm like, that's a cool race and I want to go to. But all of a sudden it gets thrown to the back of my head and it's too late when I remember. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just too late on the year that I just put it in the back burner. But yeah, hopefully someday we're going to be able to race that one.
There we go.
On the girls' side, we had Kat Matthews winning in 3:39, so sub 4. Kiwi Amelia Watkinson, and from Germany, we had Caroline Paul coming in third place. Ellie Salthouse took fourth, and special mention to Lucy Buckingham, who finished seventh in 4:04. And this was amazing because, I mean, it's not amazing, but the fact that nobody's talking about this or nobody talked about this during the race just blows my mind. She got hit by a car during the race and yet managed to finish seventh. But it's just crazy that we are still talking about people getting hit by cars. I'm now in a race.
No, that's absolutely insane. But to be hit by a car, get up and finish in seventh is just absolutely crazy. It's something that is kind of admired, but shouldn't be a situation that ever happens. So it's kind of, of two minds with that.
Yeah.
I'm sure Kat Matthews was happy to win over there with Bahrain being one of her sponsors to take the title at the Bahrain 70.3. I'm sure there's a nice little bonus or some perks there, at least a great after party.
At least the after party, but no, I'm sure she is going to have some bonuses for sure. That team has just money to throw out the window like it's nothing.
Friends backing you.
Yeah.
Man.
She seemed like she was feeling really good afterwards too. It was kind of coming out of Kona and the tough go there and having hubby around, and the two of them just kind of really enjoyed that victory, and it kind of seemed like, all right, she's ready to go for next year now and back in a good spot. So it was cool to see that too.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, let's move to another hemisphere, to New Zealand, and 70.3 Topo took place, which is the venue that 70.3 Worlds is going to take place next year in December. So it was very interesting to see the times. We don't know if the same course is going to be used for Worlds or not, but it gives us a sense of how fast people are going to be able to go December time next year. Um, let's start with the girls. We had Kiwi's Hannah Berry taking the win in 4:14:59. Lottie Wilms from the Netherlands and Rebecca Clark, also from New Zealand, coming in third place. This was a very uneventful race. Hannah took the race from the get-go, hanging on the first group of the swim, and then pushing on the bike and separating from each other on the run, running a 1:22:34. The next best run split was Lottie Wilms with the 1:28. So yeah, Hannah was on a different zip code on the run from the other girls. And she's been improving a lot on the swim, actually, because Lottie Wilms and Rebecca Clark are incredibly good swimmers. And the fact that Hannah was able to hang on their feet just goes to show all the improvements she's made on the swim.
Yeah, that's definitely not easy, as we can all attest to.
No.
Get amount of speed in the swim.
Whew, no. And then on the guys, we had also another Kiwi winner, Kyle Smith. He took the win in 3:44, and it was a nail biter of a race, because second place, Jack Moody, special mention to him, fantastic. He's an amazing runner. He just makes a running look like a joke. He like a gazelle or something, and he's a very good biker as well. Um, he started the run, I believe, like in sixth or seventh place, and he was just 49 seconds away from Kyle. Like, if this race was a kilometer longer, he would have been able to catch Kyle, that's for sure.
So we just half a kilometer shorter, then we can get like the sprint finish to the line.
Yeah, there you go. And in third place, we had Kurt McDonald, also from Australia, not New Zealand. Whew, dodge a bullet there. Kurt McDonald from Australia in third place. Braden Curry finished fourth, and this guy is a class act. He said before the race, I took a month off, and this race was too much of a temptation to pass on, so he just raced in whatever fitness he had, and he finished fourth. I would take a 1:12 half with no fitness.
Jeez. Yeah, it's funny how it's all relative.
Yeah, exactly. Like, no, I'm not fit. Goes and runs a 1:12.
Yeah, easy for
Yeah, that's amazing. And we saw Ali in Bahrain having a flat tire, and now in Topo we had Javi Gomez from Spain making his comeback set of races. And he got a 5-minute penalty, and then he got a flat tire. So yeah, just not his day. He said that after the penalty, which obviously he said he didn't agree on. I believe Javi, because he's a very honest racer. I believe it was just bad timing or something. But he said that after that, mentally, he was not engaged anymore in the race. And after that, when he got the flat, he was like, okay, I'm done. There's no need to push anymore. I'm just going to call it a day. Why waste all my energy and finishing 10th? And maybe I can save that bullet for another race where I can actually compete for a win. And looking at guys like Javi talking about this very openly just shows us how brutal the sport is. Also on the pro side, it's okay if you say I'm done, because we all know how taxing it is mentally to go through a race and pull all the energy from within and finish strong. maybe, yeah, we're not robots, and it's sometimes a smarter choice to say, I'm done, and race better with a bigger fire inside of you on the next race than going all in and being completely depleted from energy and everything for the next race.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know there's some mixed thoughts and feelings on that. It seems to be more on the age grouper side where like, oh, it's disrespecting the race, not finish, or disrespecting your competitors. That when really this their job. So if they break themselves down, they're going to have to take down time to recover, build back. If there's another race they can do in a few weeks, better to pull the plug and be ready to fire for the next one and actually get a chance to make a living, because that's what they need to do for like to make a living these days. They have to race and have good results, and coming 10th place in a 70.3 isn't paying anything. So you're just out money either way.
Yeah, 100%.
It's a good point, and it's going to be very interesting next year to see how that all plays out when you're talking about the two different series, and still waiting to figure out schedules and where people end up. But a DNF gets a little harder when you're talking about the Ironman. If you're only doing 3 Ironman because you want to win the Ironman series, you're going to push yourself maybe a little bit more, knowing you only got 2 more to go or 1 more to go. So it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out with the dynamics of finishing maybe not as strong of a race as you normally would.
Yeah, curious to see how it plays out. I'm guessing a lot of the pros are starting to look towards the Ironman series even more and more, since we still haven't heard much from Challenge and what that's going to look like. It's getting.
Or the PTO.
Yeah. PTO in there. So it's getting late in the year. And at least with the Ironman series, you know what the races are, you know what the points are, you know what you have to do. So that definitely makes it very, very attractive for athletes. And you know the races are going to happen. So, because they've happened for years.
Yeah. And you mentioned Challenge. That was the other pro race this week that just kind of snuck up, was the Challenge Salinas race that the real Tri Squad went right from one race to the next race with a little pit stop at home, it looks like. The trio of traveling buddies. And it looks like Duber took another win and beat his buddy Jackson, and Chase Nick finished 4th with Justin Reel in 3rd, which is, I mean, crazy. Those guys just keep traveling and showing up and putting that stuff up. And I did see a video of Dubrick coming out of the water way ahead, like literally looking over his shoulder where everyone is. And the T1 transitions, like you're literally running through like the streets of Ecuador and through the downtown area for a very long way, and good stretch before you get into T1. And the announcers are literally announcing the race and following him at the same time. Who he was. So you got one person like, who is it? Oh, it's Mark. So it was pretty cool to see that. And I mean, what a season this kid had. So glad we had him on early, and now he's getting sponsorships, and all these things that he was struggling to get are starting to come his way, which is really cool.
Yeah, that real Tri Squad has been all over the place lately. They definitely have quite a few up and comers in there, and definitely can't miss their kits, so they stand out when they're out there on the race course.
That is true. All the sponsors and the colorful suits for sure. And I think Sam Long announced where he's going right off the bat next year too. So interesting to see. He's going to be going to Pucón in January. So I want to talk about starting the season early, right on the 7th of January.
Yeah, you kind of see Oceanside as that season opener, and I imagine it's going to be a ridiculously massive pro field at Oceanside, with that being kind of the kickoff of the series. There it usually is a pretty big field, anyways. So it's the first big race that people show up to. But man, maybe I'll have to make my way over there, go visit with the Mana team. We've got a ton of members in California, and go cheer and support, because I'm not doing any racing with the swim next year. So
check out the Mana Endurance page. I think one of the latest posts is trying to get a roll call for Oceanside. So
love it. Yeah, we always have a big showing there, and I've never been able to make it before because I was working for the bike race and doing that, and the times conflicted. It looks like that might not be an issue this year. So it would be very cool to finally make my way over there and check it out. At least go cheer, support.
And even if you're not racing, just as an FYI, because I've been there for that race before, as everyone knows who listens, there is a half marathon, I believe, the next day in Carlsbad, which is really cool. And it's a very, very big event.
That would be
So
good.
if you aren't racing Oceanside, but you want to get something done that weekend, there is an awesome half marathon to check out. It's the Carlsbad race. Really cool.
That is very good to know. I will have to check that out for sure because I need to get some run racing in. Awesome. Well, do we have any other pro race results here, Fede, or is that it for this week?
Nope, that was it. And thank you, Josh, for filling in the Salinas race because I totally forgot about that one. But yeah, it's great to see Mark getting all the attention he deserves and the spotlight.
He's going to make Jackson work a little extra hard in the offseason.
For sure. Which actually, that when we're talking, well, so I've got a what the F for the week here. I want to see if you guys can guess on this. So the what the F is around Joe Skipper has a new bonus in his contracts with one of his sponsors for $1 million.
Ooh.
So can you guys guess what he has to do or what he would get $1 million bonus for? Now, keep in mind, with $1 million, the company is hedging that it's going to get a lot of buzz and it's not actually going to happen. So,
yeah.
what do you think he would get for $1 million?
I'm gonna.
And it's not Kona.
I'm not saying it could be anything.
Poker table.
Let's see here. Okay, I'm gonna go with the 12-hour TT world record. While only drinking beer.
You know what? To be honest, I think he's got a better shot at that than this one.
He's got a lot of practice in the beer mile.
Yeah.
Any thoughts, Josh, on what a sponsor would put $1 million up for Joe Skipper?
I'm going to stick with my gut and go with Kona, but course record at Kona.
Yeah, it's gonna be some bike stuff related, I guess. Yeah, something like that.
So, you guys, well, Josh, you got pretty close in there. Not bike related, but his wetsuit sponsor is putting up $1 million bonus if he leads the swim out in Kona.
Oh my God! I mean, if I were Joe, I would go to the likes of Josh Amberger, Rasmus Benningsen, all the fast swimmers, and be like, hey guys, I'm gonna give you 10 grand. Just let me lead the swim. I mean, please, we need this.
Just stop running and biking and just swim every day as a swimmer.
Then just quit.
Yeah.
Is there any stipulation that he has to finish the race or even get out of T1?
Good question.
Because I mean, a full send with some invisible fins.
Oh man! So I found that there was some discussion around that too. Like, okay, can you pay off some of the competitors to help you through that, or hold it back, or give them like 50 grand just to?
Yeah, I mean, I can see a world where, I mean, the Norwegians, they like a joke and they like to prank people and stuff. So I think they would be up for it. Like, yeah, let Joe take the swim. And Josh Amberger would be like, yeah, no worries, mate. Just give me 25K.
Totally.
Something like that.
Exactly how it is. No worries, mate.
and then the goat shows up and is like, nope, sorry, I'm racing one more time.
Yeah, and he's going to be like, no, I don't care about the money. I'm just going to lead the swim. Yeah.
Imagine you promise all these people all this money and stuff, and then some random newbie shows up and just crushes the swim. And you're like, this close.
Come on. Imagine if he gets out of the water in second place.
All that work for nothing. And then and if he does that, that's taxing the rest of his race too.
It's not finished. Yeah.
Just call it a day.
Losing out on $1 million coming in second, that'd be you. That would be brutal. But that reminds me, so they used to have the Triple Crown for a while, where there's 3 races. If you won all 3 of those, you would get $1 million bonus. I think Danielle Reef was the only one who ever ended up winning it. But that's been silently went away without any fanfare, I guess.
Yeah, it didn't quite actually pick up a lot of traction, which I think that they wanted to, but that was you had to win either 70.3 Worlds or Kona
Mhm.
and 70.3 Bahrain and 70.3 Dubai.
Mm,
So those
right,
two races and one championship
right.
race, you would get the $1 million.
Man, yeah, we just haven't seen anyone as dominant as Daniela Reef in her heyday in recent
Yeah.
years.
Introduce Taylor Knibb.
Oh,
Enter Taylor Niv. Yeah.
definitely climbing up there. Well, from some fun randomness with sponsor contracts, we're going to go into something a little bit more serious here with our social media post of the week that I know I definitely have some thoughts on. But Josh, tell us what's going on in the social media world. What got you thinking?
So I've been catching the posts left and right of all the giveaways in the
Yeah.
triathlon world and the endurance world, and we all follow other podcasts and other pages, obviously, in the triathlon hour. And what Jack does is usually some really good content. And this week he has had some huge giveaways, but it also led into his episode earlier this week that he released with Skye Moench, and we all know Skye's had a really good season, and coming off of some struggles over the last couple of years, especially going back to Kona last year, and she had changed coaches, and there wasn't really much talked about. But man, she opened up with Jack on this podcast episode this week. So check out the Triathlon Hours show if you want to listen to the whole episode. There's a lot of great stuff in there. But she talked about her coach literally asking her to drop 3 to 4 kilos. And I think that's what, 6 to 8, 9 pounds. And this was the extreme of it was within like 5 days of Kona in 2022. And you can't just change your body that quickly and then go race. But her coach
No.
had that mindset, and it was periodically throughout her years with him as a coach, that he would drop these tidbits away and say that she needed to do this, and she never felt stronger and better and not having to worry about what weight she was at since she dropped him as a coach and picked up a new coach. So kudos to her for opening up. I know Jenna has talked a lot about this in the past, so I thought it was an important post to share with our audience. If you haven't seen it, you can either check out Skye's page or the Triathlon Hour page on Instagram, and we'd love to hear what your take is on this as well, Jenna, and the audience too. Just shoot us your messages and your stories if you've had a coach that's done this to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I listened, actually, it was random. It popped up on my podcast feed and stuff. I listened to their show, and it just happened to come up as the first show this morning, and started listening to it. It was pretty crazy. Like, apparently her coach would show her pictures of Kona winners before they were winning and then after they were winning, and kind of pushing what that body looked like. Yeah, and trying to use that as a motivator. And then apparently had never asked her weight and never done body composition testing, just said arbitrarily, you need to lose this weight there. And I think that's a very old school way of thinking of performance and endurance sports, but a very dangerous way of thinking when it comes to women in endurance sports. There's so many cases of amenorrhea, like Rett syndrome, like just issues where these athletes from a very young age are taught that being lighter is faster. And when it comes to something like triathlon, yeah, there are some lean women within the sport, but I think what we've seen very much so in recent years is that being strong and fit and healthy makes a big difference in our sport, not only from a performance aspect, but just like sport is one thing, but it's the rest of your life. Like if you really get too lean, don't take care of your body, you can be injured constantly. And we see that throughout triathlon with super lean athletes, or you can lose your period for years and never be able to have kids. Like there are far-reaching implications beyond this. And when you kind of dig into those holes deeply, it is very, very hard to get out of it. So one thing I love about triathlon in recent years is that it's really showcased that women can be strong and fuel their bodies right and look like normal women, not be these super crazy lean skeletons of themselves, just trying to balance not being injured or getting stress fractures and trying to eat as little as possible. We're starting to see that no, you can perform well if you fuel yourself well, recover right, and you don't need to starve yourself. So it's disappointing to hear that kind of advice from a very well-known coach and well-thought-of coach in there. That body composition and weight was such a focus can be just so physically and mentally damaging.
Yeah.
Like it just, so I could go on forever about it. I won't. But yeah, that was disappointing to hear. And I'm glad that she made that change, because that coaching relationship, especially when you're in it for so long, like I've been with my coach for 11 years kind of thing. He knows everything about my life in there, and he's someone that I very much trust. And having someone that is such a significant part of your life telling you things like that constantly can be incredibly damaging. But
Yeah.
it can be really hard to get out of, because you start to think, well, what if they are right and I go to someone else? I'm in the midst of my career. Am I totally screwing myself or throwing this all away by gaining a couple pounds and trying something different? Like, there's only women, especially in sport, we only have so long where we can peak, and she's starting to get to that time frame, right? Anyways, how about you, Fede? Any thoughts on this, or?
Yeah, I mean, it was surprising to see that, knowing her coach, he would suggest something like that. I mean, the evidence has shown us that, that skinny is not necessarily fast. Also, muscle is not necessarily fast. Fast is fast, period. I mean,
finding the right balance.
Yeah, exactly. You need to be healthy to feel good, to be in the right mental space. Also, to be willing to train hard and to absorb the training. And if you are happy, you're probably gonna execute well. It's not a thing of how much kgs do you have and or how you should look. I mean, our sport is beautiful in that way. We have so many different body types that, yeah, of course, there is a tendency that, I mean, we're not blind. There is a tendency, and usually the lighter, more fit type of athletes are the ones who do better. But you don't have to be super lean, 4% body fat to be able to win championships. You need to find what works for you, the right weight, that you feel good, that you're healthy, that your blood work is okay, and that you can actually train and race consistently without getting injured. For some, that might look 4% body fat. For some, that might look 12% body fat. It does not matter as long as you are healthy and it is what works for you. But as soon as somebody starts telling you, hey, you're a very lean athlete already, but you need to get leaner, that's when problems start to come up.
Yeah, and I think we see that even more so in the ITU world, because they are so driven by federations. And then there's just kind of more of a culture of it, just being lean and fast. But we also see so many more injuries, stress fractures, injuries that are taking them out for months to years kind of thing. And that could absolutely be a side effect of just that culture of being super lean to be able to go faster, which, it's just not always the case. If you're not making it to the start line, you're not going faster than anyone.
Yeah, exactly. You need to be healthy, first of all, to get to the start line and in the right mental place to be able to push yourself when the time comes. Because if you are super fit and super ready to go, but are not mentally engaged, you're not going to be able to go that extra mile when it actually counts. You may look like a Sports Illustrated cover model, but you're not going to be fast. Everybody's going to beat you.
Yeah, you need to have that energy, and your body needs to have the energy it needs for you. And that's what Fede and Jenny have been talking about, is it's each specific person. If you really want to know what your ideal weight needs to be for racing, then figure that out. And don't let somebody else tell you this is what number it needs to be at, because that's not going to be the case. And it's like taking 220 minus your age and that's your max heart rate. No, it's not.
that's I mean, I mean, round of applause for Josh. That's exactly what it is.
That just
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. No, and it's tough too, right? Like I know I've mentioned it on here before, like I've shown up to so many start lines and I get intimidated by these super lean, vascular women who look like they're super crazy fit. And like it's been years where like I'll beat most of it. Like I'll go win. And I know I can win these races, but still every single time there's that little kind of niggling voice in your head from years of programming just saying, well, they're leaner and they look fitter, so they're probably faster. It's like, okay, no, that's not the way it actually is. So I'm glad that there's more discussions around it. We're talking about this issue more and coming out and saying like, no, you don't have to be that super crazy athlete to win races. And I don't want to call out certain athletes, but I think if you look across the top of triathlon at the highest level, the difference in body types is absolutely insane. Like there's such a wide range. So I think that definitely shows more than anything that it is just fit, strong, mentally ready to fire. That weight on the scale, that number on the scale has far less implications.
And to back it all up for her personally too, is the fact that, all right, the weight is going to help you on the run. That's kind of the mindset. And she wanted to be a better runner and all that. And that's where her coach took off with this whole thought, is what it sounds like. Well, now that she's got her mind right and with a better coach for her, she just went and set the course record in the marathon at IM Florida. There's been some really good pros that have run that race. And she set the course record and ran a marathon of her life at the weight that she felt comfortable running and competing at. So kudos to you, Skye.
Yeah, love to see it.
I mean, I don't know if you guys remember this, but Sebby Kinley, a couple of years ago, they asked him a question about relating, body type related. And he said something very interesting. He was like, I know, like when we go to the Kona Aquatic Center or to Digby Beach to swim and I see these lean bodies, I know who's not winning the race because they overdid it.
See, you know what I'm going to miss most about Sebastian Kienle? He was like a quote machine. Like he always had the best quotes. For a while, I had a poster up there saying like, if it's hurting me, it's killing them.
It's killing them.
Like, best quotes. I am going to miss that.
We're all going to miss Sebby. But yeah, he was onto something. Like, of course, there is a fine line between being fit. He also said this. There is a fine line between being fit and being effed.
Yes,
so,
that one too.
Yeah.
No, love it. We definitely need more Sebastian Kienle's out there with some sage words of advice, but put in a very fun way and unforgettable.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh my goodness. Well, is there anything else, guys, that you wanted to bring up in the world of triathlon today?
Nope. I think we're good.
Awesome. Well, we will be back next week, as always, and I will reach out for some listener questions this time. And if you guys have any thoughts, anything you're wondering about, you got two coaches, and Josh is so well versed these days. He's got pros coming to him asking him questions. So we definitely have a crew that knows what they're talking about.
Josh is like our quote machine, so you can ask him. You can shoot him a message and be like, "Hey, Josh, I need a caption for my Instagram post," and he's going to be able to help you.
Whatever you need, guys. Whatever you need.
Full service podcast over here. Reach out for anything.
Absolutely. Well, have a good week and good weekend, everyone.
You as well.
You too, guys.
Testing.
Thanks.